cut copper, baby. Oh yeah. Holy cow. Another awesome, fully intact chrotal bell. Look at that. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, it's not a coin. And so this is going to be the obverse, and it's another Drake bust. It's in 1865. The date's clearly readable right there on my phone. Look at that. Great seal button. And it's deep, so maybe it's not crushed. It's not crushed. Holy crap. Oh, hello folks. John BTV Digger here. First hunt of the year. April the 3rd. It's been a long winter, like 4.5 months since I've gotten back with you. But we're finally out and the snow has melted here in the Champlain Valley and we're hitting some old home sites. I'm here with my new friend Max. And this place here we're hitting today, we're hitting several places, but this one's kind of a trashy spot, but I've got a good signal for you. So let me show you down here for my first find of the year. And there she is, folks. It's not a coin, but it ran out pretty good, and I'll take any kind of 1800s period relics any day. Try to keep that in the sun, and again, it's pretty windy out here. It's early April, so it'll be blustery today, so I'll try to keep the noise down on the wind. Nice rains guide. First one of the year. I'm sure I'll dig several more, but I'll take that. And that's kind of a later period one, so I'd say turn of the century, about 1900 or so. This house is here in the 1850s, though, so there could be some largies or some old silver here, so we'll keep plugging around. Very, very trashy right by the home site. I wonder if they used to use this as a dump, because I've seen there's some modern crud in here as well. But let's keep plugging along. That's a good first find. On to the next.
Well, we got first trip of the year. Get a copper on the board.
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen it real good, but it looks really nice.
It's thin. Max and I came down to another site where I found that rains guy at. It was really trashy, so we walked down, I don't know, maybe a quarter mile down here. And this is an older site, and it's still trashy, but there's some good stuff in here. We pulled several buttons already. So Max, why don't you come on in here and I'll show you what I got. It was kind of a crummy signal, garbledy about a 60, and then when I started digging, it became like a 78.
I'm gonna try getting it in the sun here.
Yeah,
I can see the head.
Can you see right there? And it's thin, so I think it's going to be like a state or Connecticut or something like that. It's a KG2. Oh yeah, baby. Can you see? Let me see if I can. Can you see the head? It's facing to the left. It's going to say Georges, I think. I think it's a KG2. It could be a Connecticut, but you see the bows on the back of the guy's head there, and the back's going to have Britannia on there, but it's pretty thin. That one, it's whole too. That's drying out now. Can you see it? Awesome. KG2, man. I'll take it all day. I think that's what it is, don't you think? Yeah, I've dug them before. I think it's a King George II.
We'll find out after we get some cleaning on it.
We'll find out, man. Heck yeah, baby.
Congratulations.
On the board. All right, on to the next. All right, here I am, my next find, folks. Really nice one, and I apologize, I'm in the shadows because I have to have my back to the wind here, but let me just zoom down here where the wind is not as bad. See that right there? That's sweet. That was a garbly signal. It got better, like a 75 when I got down deep. It was deep, 8-9 inches. Look at that dandy button. That's cool. Max has even got a nicer tom back, but that one is that one's sick. That's got gold gilt and everything, and look at the little pattern on there. I mean, is there anything else on there? Is there that I can make out? I think it's just kind of a circular pattern. Sweet, about the size of a $50. Late 1700s all day long, baby. This is the sight of the day, at least so far. We'll keep plugging along here. I'll come back with you if I find something better. On to the next. Right, here I am, my next find, folks. I'm going to give you a wrap up here in a little bit of all the buttons I've dug today and the tombacks. Really good day. In addition to that, KG coin, which turns out to be a Hibernian. I'll show you an inset shot in a little while in the wrap up. But here's another nice signal. This is dandy number like 5 for me for the day. This is a different field, but I may be able to get off some detail off of that. I'm not sure. Could be just a plain Jane. But that is a big button. And maybe I'll toothpick that off and see if I can get some, see if I can find a pattern on it. Nice start. I've only got about an hour left. I just wanted to show you a few finds. If I find a nice coin, I will definitely come back with another shot. On to the next. Well, hey folks, once again, John back in here about 2 days after those dandy buttons and that what turns out to be a Irish or British invasion copper, which is a sweet find, and again I'll give it to you in the wrap up. But I'm out to a different site today, and let me pan around here very quickly. You can see here, kind of down by the river on this one. Let me get down low. I've been here 3 minutes. New site, only about 5 miles from my house. Look at that, unmistakable signal. Big old dandy button. Look at that, beautiful, tight combat, right? Look at that, early sight, man. There's brick and pottery all over the ground here. This is a site I've been wanting to hit for a while. Very friendly farmer. He said 2 or 3 guys have hit it over the years. They've owned the farm since the 70s. They ain't hit it hard enough, man. First row, tom back button. Let's keep on plugging around. There's got to be some other good stuff here. On to the next. On my next find here, about 10 minutes later, folks, and I want you to look at this. This is a first for me and an unbelievable example. Colonial fork, baby, with the wood handle mainly intact. Look at that. That is one of the relics. That's going to be one of my relics of the year, and I'm going to call it right now, and it's only early April. That is sick. You hardly ever find the wood handle attached to the 2-tine fork. I got to do some research on when the 2-tine forks went out of style and they went to the 3-tine or 4-tine forks. But that is old and that is period, folks. I'm going to call late 1700s, early 1800s at the latest probably on that. Sick find. All right, let's keep plugging along. What a great day. 5 minutes from work, I've got 2 relics in about 10 minutes, and they're both sweet. On to the next. All right, it slowed down a little bit after that fork I got. But I don't know, maybe 12, 15 minutes later, it's been a little while, about 5 or 6 corn rows over. A lot of iron in the site, but I did get a semi-repeatable mid-tone, and I do have myself a coin down here. So let me pan around slowly, and we'll cut to that for you real quick. It could be a weedy, but I'm hoping it's an Indian. It's not a large cent, so let's take a look. It is right there, and it popped out right on the side. Let's see what I got here. You know what it's going to be? I don't think it's a coin at all. I think it's going to be a button, and I'll take that any day. It was ringing up like a 70, so I was kind of hopeful it would be a coin, but it's an old flat button from way back. And do I see anything on it? There may be some kind of pattern on there. Look at that. Let me use my toothbrush and toothbrush that off. If there's something interesting on there, I will get back with you. But a nice find nonetheless. I'll take that. Old colonial flat button from way back. All right, on to the next find. Well, I moseyed on down to another knoll in this farm field. It is so freaking trashy in there, guys. I mean, you get like iron overload. It's almost like you could almost pass over a good signal because the iron is so crazy. So I turned down the sensitivity on the AT Pro about 2/3, and then came down here just so I could thin out in the iron field, because you're just not, unless I have a tiny coil, not gonna find anything in there. Finally got like a 91 tight signal that wasn't trash, and I said this may be a coin. And at first I thought it was a modern quarter, but it ain't, folks. It's a largie, and when it rings up 91 like that, it's gonna be one of those late date like braided hairs. This site was a little bit more modern than the other site I was finding those tombacks on, but that's gonna be a beauty. Look at that girl right there. Let's see if I can get a date. Let me wipe it on my jeans real quick. Let's see if I can see a date on there. 1849, baby. I don't know if you can make that out right there. Late date matron. The 46s and the 49s were really popular. That's a nice find. All day long. I've only got maybe a half an hour left here and I got to bug out, but this may be a place I come back to. Very nice. On to the next. Okay, here we are back inside for the blue construction paper wrap-up. We'll try to go through pretty quickly through these finds. This was two separate hunts. You saw the one hunt when I was there with a good friend of mine out in a town south of me, and then a solo hunt right here in town along a river. And I found some of those other finds, including that nice large scent. So let me just do a quick wrap-up. I found a host of buttons, about 15 to 20 buttons, and some of these were wonderful old tombacks or large silver-plated dandy buttons or large coat buttons. These are really nice. There's that one on that later hunt, that smooth tomback, but a lot of these nice intricate designs. These are all late 1700s to early 1800s. Here's another one. There, you saw me dig this one in the field. This one turned out to be just a plain Jane, but a big old coat button there. And some of these buttons you find do have a nice little design on them also, the little ones. Look at that one, a little Star of David pattern on there with a little intricate fleur-de-lis in the middle of the triangles. So always a fun thing to see what's on these buttons, even if they're not military. I got a lot of other common fare here. A couple of high signals that were duds, a modern dime, and this was kind of a heartbreaker. Rang up like an 80 on the AT Pro, and it's a 1971 dog tag. So you got to, take the winners with the losers on some of that. A couple of Rains guides. This was the nicer one you saw on tape. I also dug that guy. Got an old iron buckle. Here's a brass buckle, square nails, some pottery. These are called collar nibs. Some of you in the East dig these a lot. These are the attachment brass piece to a sickle or a scythe to cut hay or grass. And this would attach the blade to the wooden handle. Ring up really high like a coin, but they're not. Pewter spoons, some pottery. Let's see what else I got here. And then a couple of the other good finds. I'll wrap it up here. This was part of a pewter spoon. This is my early American bone-handled fork in iron here. I haven't done electrolysis on that yet, but what a killer find. Probably late 1700s to early 1800s, and coming from a plowed field, that's amazing that never got torn up and broken over the years. Very early, it's just missing one part of the bone here. I guess that's made out of deer or maybe antler or something like that. But man, that's probably my keeper of those two hunts. Although I will say the large scents were fine too. I got this really nice braided hair. And let me just put that in the light there. You can see that, 1849. There's a number of these little varieties on this thing. I guess I could look it up and see what kind of Newcomb or Sheldon variety. I forget the guy's name that rated some of these late date braided hair large scents, but really nice for a cornfield copper. And then the last copper is worn and smooth, and you saw the inset on the attribution. This is called a British Evasion copper. This is the head of King George II. And instead of having Britannia on the back, it's hard to tell there in the light, but there's actually a harp on there. And these were generally not considered counterfeits. They were actually considered tokens. The British passed a law not to counterfeit regal coins, but these were not counterfeits because nothing resembled a regal coin, because this had the harp on the back instead of Lady Britannia, and then a King George II. The dates on these are varied, and from what I could understand, they were all the way up into the late 1700s, even though the fact that King George II was back in the early to mid 1700s. Some of these were dated late 1700s, thus giving them the attribution of more like a token as opposed to a coin. But at least a few of those made it across to America and circulated to some degree in the early colonies to early America. So that's a cool find. Very uncommon. You don't normally find the evasion coppers in the ground. They're normally just a standard counterfeit or the real deal. All right, well, that's about it on the wrap-up. I appreciate you joining me for this first set of hunts for 2019. And just to give you a hint of what's to come, I've got together with my buddy Gold Panner out in the field just a few days ago. We're talking probably April the 12th right now, and tore it up with more coppers and silver and everything that I'm anxious to show you in the future. So again, thanks for joining me in these hunts, and remember to get out there and dig it all, folks. It's waiting in the ground for you to find. This is BTV Digger.